Good morning, everyone. So today's our first chemistry lab where we're actually going to be using chemicals, chemical measuring equipment, stuff like that. So it's an exciting day, at least for me. So let's see what we have today. Because it's our first chemistry lab, we are going to have to go over the procedures, the expectations, that kind of stuff. So that's going to be our warm up today. So we got that. The activity then. So if we go over to the warm up there, here is just my explanation of this. Again, I try to give you any information that I need to get across to you in various ways, both the video format, written format, stuff like that, so that you have the information in a lot of different ways. Just a lot of different ways here. So it's not really a learning style necessarily, since we're not really trying to learn anything here, but try to convey the information in various forms. So here's the sheet. So explains the purpose of our procedures and our what we do in the lab here. And then within the lab, we'll talk about this. You're working with your group. So each of your groups will have its own locker in the lab. And in that locker, you have this equipment right here. So this is basic equipment that we use almost every time that we do a lab. And you're responsible for maintaining this equipment and cleaning it at the end of each lab. So when it comes to labeling, cleaning, that kind of stuff, it's entirely based on, or it's entirely your group's responsibility to do that kind of stuff. So it's part of your grade. So I can't have people doing labs with dangerous substances if I can't trust them to stay organized and clean, because by not doing that, that's how accidents happen. So I'm not going to be cleaning up 20 different groups materials at the end of every class. So it's just not going to happen. So if we can't maintain equipment responsibly, then we just can't, that particular group simply can't do labs, and we'll have to do alternative assignments in that case. But fortunately, that is yet to come up. Okay, then our activity, again, we're back to now our Stanislav story, our introductory activity for this unit, where Stanislav was trying to determine a question. So we're now down in the lab report section. So this, like I told you when we first started this, to do the lab, you've had to do all these questions. So before I let you go on the lab here, I need to make sure that I've checked all this off. So there's still some of you that have not completed this stuff, so it simply means that you can't do the lab. Okay, so we come to the lab report. Again, it's in the same format that we've been using. So you have to tell me the question, and you have to provide your hypothesis again. In this case, though, this is a complex lab, and because it involves dangerous chemicals, I've done the materials and the procedures for you. So in this case, so here you see we have a lot of different materials that are going to be needed here. And here are the different procedures. So you're going to be doing kind of 3 different labs. So we're going to be doing the same procedures, but we're going to be looking at 3 different chemical substances. So sodium chloride, copper chloride, and zinc chloride. Okay. And then you got your data collection. Again, this goes in spreadsheet form. So we're not just writing out a big glop of words here. Data analysis, there is no math or graphing in this case, so there's not really a data analysis section for today. So there's not that much going on here. So it's observational, so which is very rare for our labs. But what you're going to be doing is you're going to be during the lab procedures, the kind of data you're recording is what you observe. And so it's not measurement data. We're not going to use it for any math equations or anything. Because of that, there's no real error calculation either. So remember, percent error is a mathematical calculation, and we don't have any mathematical stuff here, so this kind of gets skipped as well. Conclusion you will be doing, modification you will be doing. So please remember the modification there. So this lab will take a few days to do. So because I need to spend kind of an extended time getting you all set up in there, it will take a couple days to do. So at the end of the period, you need to make sure that you clean everything up. So here if you still have chemicals and stuff that you've mixed together but have not used yet, we don't just dump that out. Okay, we can just label those. So we have a piece of masking tape and then we have a pen and we label what's in there, and we can put a cork on it and set it off to the side in our lab station there. So that's what we do if we are not able to finish something, but we still have chemicals that need to be tested in some way. We don't have to just toss it out and then start all over again the next period. So unfortunately, we can't afford to be wasting chemicals around here. So we're just going to label those, and we'll talk about that if that situation arises, and most likely it will arise for pretty much everyone. Okay, so that's what we have today.